Hey everyone out there in the land of YouTube. Did you ever have a good idea? You're just like, wow, this is a great idea. I'm glad I did this. I just went to the grocery store and got a few groceries, and there's a stone's throw from this beach. So I decided to come to you from a very peaceful location. Peaceful this time of year anyhow. In the summer months it's very crowded here. So it's a day of mourning. It's absolutely a day of mourning. I feel like somebody died in the wake of the assassination that really did look planned, strategically planned. It did appear that way. The assassination of Charlie Kirk on the day that is in memory of September 11th, on September 11th, 24 years later. It's the only way I can describe it. It's like if you lost a loved one, and that just feeling of grief. There's a real feeling of grief in the air. And when people are grieving, personally or in the collective, it's customary and it's very human and compassionate. And I would like to think that that's inherent in our nature, unless something's gone really wrong. It's customary and natural, if people are in grief and pain, to be gentle as they process the very hard emotions of what they're going through. A mark of evil is to do the opposite. Remember when Joe Biden was diagnosed with aggressive prostate cancer? God bless him. I hope he's doing well. And rather than respond with compassion, there was a segment of the American population that decided to respond with, we need to have hearings so that we find out that he knew about his illness when he was president. Or, people choosing to bash him in that moment. It's inhuman. It's actually inhuman. So I want to acknowledge that we're all in grief, that we're mourning not only, and I feel like at the edge of tears right now, here at the edge of the ocean. Not only are we grieving September 11th, but we're grieving the death of not just one person, not just Charlie Kirk, the death of people in the political eye who have been singled out and shot and killed or shot at because they were out there speaking. I'm going to pull some cards. I'm going to, hopefully nobody will bother me. I don't think they will. People are pretty respectful, and there's just a handful of people on the beach. But I'm going to actually look at whether this was, and it's my psychic impressions, it's just my channel, my psychic impressions. You can think whatever your intuition says. But I'm going to ask the pendulum first, was this strategically planned? I'm not going to ask by somebody, by this party or that party. I'm just going to ask the question, was this assassination strategically planned? And what I mean is a political motive. Was there a political motive here? Not picking sides, just asking. So hang on, let me grab my bag. Was it? And I can only grab my pendulum if I brought my pendulum. So, I think it fell out. That's okay. We can ask the cards. So I'm going to use the Deviant Moon cards, since there's a lot of deviants out there. And let's see. So the question we're asking is, was this a hit job, basically? Was it a hit job? Alright, let's see. Boy, coming off this full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces that we had on Sunday, oh, you stay for a plane ride? Knight of Wands says yes. The Knight of Wands says it's part of a concerted effort. It's part of a particular community. The Sword of Truth is coming out. The Star card, this is interesting. Yes, it was a certain group that carried out the assassination. Once again, I'm not naming which group. I don't even have that information psychically just right now. And yesterday I couldn't even look at it. It was too fresh. The Sword of Truth and the Star. So what this is indicating is this is a moment of clarification in a certain way, even though we feel like we're all in this murkiness, right? There is a moment of clarification coming. We have a current FBI that's largely inept. Think Kash Patel and that 22-year-old kid who's only experienced in terms of domestic terrorism. That's the department he's supposed to oversee. Was a landscaper before he entered into his position that Dumpy gave him because he was a MAGA. This is where we are. We need to save ourselves. So the card said yes, this was an organized, strategic assassination. There's a particular group associated. I'm thinking about, like domestic terrorist groups. It has kind of that feel to it. And the Sword of Truth and the Star card indicated that we would find out. The Star card to me indicates the United States. Also the Empress card does too. Okay, in light of what Dumpy is doing, immediately, wasted no time, within seconds, starts going on TV and saying this is the evil leftist extremist, Let's just ask, who's the party that most promotes guns? And who's the party that most wants laws and gun restrictions? Laws against guns and gun restrictions. Who's the party? Who's the party that is the pro-gun party? What about Dumpy in the face of this? The Sun indicates that everything's being exposed, that he's trying his darndest to cover up everything. Think Epstein. He's trying his darndest to cover up everything. But the Sun card keeps coming up too, which means this is all going to be exposed. What we do with that information that gets exposed is another matter, right? But the Nine of Wands indicates, even though we have a corrupt head of the FBI, corrupt, inept, and others that are in the FBI, and the good people have been fired because they're not loyalists, there are people that are legit. This is screaming. Trump cannot be hiding what's going on anymore. I wanted to say that he couldn't be hiding it. In the future he won't be able to hide it. I'm getting this is immediate. This is immediate. Wow. Okay. All right. Let's ask some more questions. Let's ask about what America today where our energy is and what America today is going through energetically, where we are energetically. And I'm talking from a collective consciousness standpoint, and also our higher consciousness. Where is America today? And while I'm choosing the cards, I just want to remind you that it is Thursday, and it's a really auspicious day, really, for us to have our regularly scheduled weekly guided meditation for a healed America tonight. I'm pleading with you and begging you to join us tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Please consider that it's probably easy enough to take 30 minutes out of your day, or 15 minutes if you want to join us 15 minutes in, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. The King of Pentacles, the Moon, the Princess of Swords. Once again, I feel the women rising up. These are a little hard to see. Where America is today is we're stirring, we're wanting the truth, but it's not in an aggressive manner. We just want truth. So let's keep that in the forefront of our minds. We just want proof. The King of Pentacles, I do feel wiser heads prevailing. I do feel more exposure of the money that gets funneled from the NRA into mainly the GOP, 99.9% of it. And where America is today is we're over the top emotionally. Like I was saying earlier, I feel like I'm in grief because the collective is grieving. And they're having the memorial services for 9/11 in New York City. They might be wrapping up by now. It's 10 to 11 a.m. It's an early PNN pop-up. Let's choose 3 cards and just ask for guidance, what the guides want for us today. How we heal. And pull 3 cards for guidance on how we heal. The Hangman is surrender to the higher power. I would say that this is a time that we are being asked to surrender to the higher power. Decide what we want. Come together. This is a sword of truth. And this is guidance that, okay, judgment is coming. This is our message for the collective from the guides. People that have been perpetrating evil and killing will be judged. They will be held accountable. The sword of truth. I'm getting a really strong sense that it's like you can't keep a volcano from exploding, right? And just thinking of the volcano as exploding with truth. You can't keep it from happening. The truth always gets revealed. The Hangman is telling us in so many ways to surrender to the higher power. In other words, appeal to the higher powers, whatever you believe in, and trust the higher power as we continue to do our work and we continue to do our activism. All right, I don't like to make these too long, but I might stay at the beach a little bit longer. Please join us tonight. Thank you for being here on this beautiful beach with me today. And I'm going to give you 1 minute with the water if you choose to stay. I'm going to push this aside and let it go for 1 minute, and then namaste. We'll see you soon. Okay. Consider that our moment of silence, and we'll do another moment of silence tonight before our meditation. And see you soon. Bye.